I am sure many of you are wondering why this is called the Transport Drew Says podcast, but if you are watching the video, you are not wondering this. You understand completely why this is called the Transport Drew Says podcast. I am done with sheet 1, and now I want to discuss my takeaways from the year of 2022. I didn't think that I learned a lot this year, but going back and thinking through everything, I have a lot of takeaways. I learned a lot this year. The first thing that I learned is don't let stuff out of your control negatively impact you. If you'll remember, about 6 months ago, in the middle of the year, the ceiling in my studio sprung a leak. And it took about a month and a half to resolve. So during that time, I had everything torn out of my studio because when it rained again, the leak would get worse, and I didn't want to risk all of my equipment getting damaged. Now, during that month, I could have used that time to relax and pretty much have an entire month and a half vacation. But over that time, I was stressed to the gills. I was thinking, oh my gosh, my channel is going to die. This is the worst thing ever because something out of my control is negatively impacting something that I care about so deeply. This is a nightmare. I am stressed out the entire time. That is completely justifiable. I understand that. I should be angry. I should be stressed out. I should be doing everything in my power to ensure that external factors don't destroy something that I care about. But I did do everything in my power to try to resolve that, and the resolution lied in somebody else's hands. So by sitting here and stressing out, I was just adding unnecessary strain and anger and depression on myself when it wasn't necessary because there's nothing that I could do. So it was just a waste of energy and a waste of emotional resources. And I know that sounds hippy-dippy, but we have limited time. This is going to get even more hippy-dippy. We have limited time on this planet. Why are we going to allow stuff out of our control to ruin that limited time that we have? Why am I going to be angry? Why am I going to be depressed? Why am I going to be stressed about something that I have no control over? Basically, the takeaway is if I have done everything within my power and now the situation is out of my control, I should not allow that situation to ruin my day, week, month, or year, cause unnecessary stress, cause me anger, cause me depression, or give me justification to be rude to somebody else, because that is something that happens a lot. We have a bad day, we get stressed out, we take that out on people around us. I don't know what camera to look at. We take that out on people around us, and I don't think that's a good thing to do. I don't think that's an appropriate way to behave. So that was my first takeaway for 2022, a very big takeaway for me. My second takeaway is don't be precious about stuff, use it. This comes from a lot of everyday carry items. It comes from computers, from guitars, from microphones, from notebooks. If you buy a relatively expensive notebook that costs $10, you're not going to want to write in it unless it's something incredibly important. If you get a new guitar, you're going to baby it. You're not going to want to play it for a bit. You're going to want to stare at it. Oh, it's so pretty. That's not why you buy a notebook. That's not why you buy a guitar. You don't buy a nice pocket knife because you want to look at it. You buy a nice pocket knife because it is an effective tool. Use the tools that you buy for the purpose they were made. Use the tools that you buy for the reason you bought them. This, of course, assumes that you are not buying some tool as some kind of investment. Don't do that either. This is not financial advice. That's the podcast disclaimer. But really, that's just me being a little bit butthurt that a lot of items that I like have kind of become these investment items, or at least a way to get rich quick. Oh, these are in limited supply. We're going to buy all of them using bots, and then we're going to flip them at a premium because people want them. We'll manipulate the market. F you. So I don't like the whole investment mentality around these physical items like knives or watches, or luckily it hasn't hit microphones yet, knock on wood. So that's the second thing that I have. Takeaway number 3 is live your life instead of working all the time. This is something that I have struggled with for years. When I started the Podcastage YouTube channel and started to get traction, I just wanted to double down and work even harder on it because I didn't want to throw away or squander the opportunity that I had. And it has taken a lot to get to this place where I will be okay with walking away from the channel for a week or two, with walking away from my day job for a couple of days. And it's not as though my day job is my favorite thing and I can't bear to be away from it. It's just that I understand that when you're away from work, the work doesn't stop. The emails keep coming in, the calls keep coming in, the tasks keep stacking up. So yes, you may get 2, 3, 4, maybe a week off. 2, 3, 4 days, not 4 weeks. You may get a couple days or a week off, but when you come back, you're going to end up working 10 times harder to stay on top of stuff. So what I learned is you need to do a bit of preparation if you want to take vacation. You need to email people a couple of weeks in advance, say, hey, I am going to be out of the office on these days. If you need anything urgently, send it to me early before I leave. Send it to me a week before, at least a couple of days before, so I have time to turn it around for you. I will not have email access. I will not reply to you. If there's anything urgent, contact somebody else. So as long as you do the preparatory work and maybe schedule your vacation days around times where other people are out of the office, it can be very manageable. And now that you're able to take time off work, you can take a little bit of time off of YouTube. You can go visit people that you care about. You can go visit family. You can go on a vacation and do something really fun that you've wanted to do. Maybe not a 3-week or a 2-month-long vacation in Europe, going across the entire continent. Maybe not that. But you can take some time off and unplug from work. Don't work all the time. Live your life. Life is short. I talked about this earlier already in something else that I learned. Life is short. Why are you going to allow stuff to stress you out? And why are you going to chain yourself to a desk and work yourself to death? Take some time for yourself to enjoy the gift of life. God, I'm turning into a hippie. I hate this. The next takeaway for me is slow down and appreciate life. Goodness gracious, this certainly seems a lot like the last one. Am I getting redundant? Maybe a little bit, but I don't care. What I mean by this is read. Go for a walk. Take part in an action that isn't modern and takes a little bit longer. Instead of typing up your notes like I did this week, go ahead and write them in a physical notebook. If you're a dude and you shave, go ahead and use a safety razor. Get some nice shaving cream. It'll take 15 minutes as opposed to 30 seconds right out of the shower. It's really nice to be able to take time and slow down and appreciate the finer things in life. To take some time for yourself. It's not as though I am advocating for hedonism. That's not what I am trying to do because I don't really... It's not that I don't approve of it. I just don't see much value in being hedonistic all the time. If you live a hedonistic lifestyle every single day, there's nothing special about it. There's nothing enjoyable about it. But if you live a rather structured or limited or reserved life, and then you go get a slice of cake, oh boy, that cake's going to taste delicious. If you don't drink soda and then you go get a root beer because it's last drive-in with Joe Bob Briggs, that's going to be the best damn tasting bottle of root beer that you ever had. So I am saying live a little bit more reserved, but also enjoy your time. Slow down. Read, escape, 15, 20 minutes every day. Go for a walk. It's a little bit of exercise, but then you also get to breathe in some fresh air as long as you don't live in a city. You get the excitement. Oh, am I going to step on a heroin needle today? I don't know. Oh, there's a crack pipe. Oh, that's a whatever other kind of pipes there are. I don't know. I don't know all the drug paraphernalia. So slow down and appreciate life. That's something that I have really taken to heart this year. My next takeaway is do not collect stuff for the sake of collecting. This arose because I am an idiot And I had the desire to collect a bunch of movies that I never got around to watching. This year, I got around to watching them, and I hate Past Bandrew. He is the absolute worst. When it comes to DVDs, when it comes to CDs, when it comes to books, those are items that are meant to be consumed, to be watched, to be read, to be listened to. So you should be buying them because you want to watch them, read them, listen to them. If you buy them and collect them, when you get around to watching them or listening to them, you may end up hating the person who bought them. Like me, Past Bandrew, the guy who thought, oh, it'll be great to collect all the most disturbing movies ever made. No, Bandrew, you're an idiot. That was a stupid way to spend money and your time. And when I watch a bunch of YouTube, I also stumble across a lot of people that develop collections of stuff that is meant to be used, like watches, knives, flashlights, everyday carry equipment, and it's easy for my brain to get tricked into this stupid idea of, ooh, I need that too. And this takeaway is don't collect things for the sake of collecting. If I buy another watch, am I really going to wear it? If I buy another knife, am I really going to use it? Do I need 15 different flashlights? No. I am collecting for the sake of collecting. Now, if you collect things, whether it be pocket knives, watches, little figurines of a bear, microphones, I don't care. Live your life the best way that you know how. This is just something that I took away because I know I have a brain that gets tricked into collecting for the sake of collecting, and I need to nip that in the bud. I need to stop it because otherwise I will have no room to live. I have too many microphones as it is. I don't need boxes and boxes and boxes of hats. I don't need stacks of knives. I don't need 5,000 watches. I don't need X-Files posters. I don't need every single one that was there. I don't need it. So this is a takeaway for me. Do not collect for the sake of collecting. Next up, leave your phone, your tablet, your computer with all of your social media outside of the bedroom. This is something that I fell trapped to. This is something that a lot of people fall trapped to. They will be laying in bed, scrolling through their phone, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or Reddit, whatever it is. They just scroll and scroll and scroll. Not only are you putting all this negative information into your brain right before you go to bed, not only are you becoming more addicted to social media with all those endorphins or whatever that you get from the likes that you find on socials, not only that, but I found it just kept me up a lot later than I should be staying up. I was ready for bed, I was tired, I would lay down in bed, pull up my iPad, and then end up scrolling for an extra hour and a half. So instead of 8 hours, I would get 6.5 hours of sleep. Then I'd wake up the next day feeling like crap, I'd be grumpy, and I wouldn't be thinking straight. So by leaving my phone, my tablet, my social media machine outside of the bedroom at night, I have become a much happier person, I have gotten much better nights of sleep, and I don't end up staying up way too late looking at all this negativity. There's nothing of value that happens on social media almost ever, but certainly not after 10 p.m. There's nothing of value on social media after 10 p.m. Unless, of course, you listen to this podcast and you publish your content after 10 p.m., then I am sure it is absolutely wonderful and perfect and valuable content. The final takeaway from the year. This has been going on way too long. Social media numbers do not matter. This is a carry-on from last year and the year before. It is so easy to get sucked into social media and become addicted to the growth that you see. And over 2020, I saw explosive growth. In 2021, I saw that growth dwindle. In 2022, probably because I took a month and a half off with no content being posted, I saw that growth continue to dwindle. And it is easy to just see that and say, oh my God, this is just the worst. I feel so depressed. I'm worthless. I hate everything. Because you find yourself relying on external factors for your value. You're allowing a social media algorithm to dictate how you feel about yourself, which is just ridiculous. So this is something that I still struggle with regularly. Those numbers don't really matter. It can still be discouraging, but In the long run, it doesn't matter in the slightest, so that is my final takeaway from 2022.